Okay, we have a MacBook Air. This is low power. This is A2179. This is 2020 versions of. So basically, this is the last Intel versions that was made of the MacBook Airs before there was a complete transition into the M1 series. So this one is a low power. So as usual, what we are going to do is take the board out and determine, sorry, not take the board out, take out the back cover to determine what state the device is in before we connect power to it. So I make it a practice that when I'm working on a low power device, until I can confirm or until I can have a view of the inside of the device, I do not plug power to it because I don't know what state the device is in. It may be a liquid damage device, and if that is the case, I may be actually doing more damage to it by connecting power to the device. Okay, so the back cover is out. I'm just going to give it a bit of a dust. So usually the first thing I will do when the back cover is out, I want to see if I have my standby light. That I don't see. Then I also want to disconnect my battery. So battery is disconnected. So from here, I don't really see anything that stands out in terms of liquid. So what I want to do is I'm just gonna see if I want to see if we have a short on our PP bus. And then also let me open up the bug view. This is gonna be 820 dash 01958. Let's see, is it this one? Yeah, there you go. It's 01958. So that's the 2020 Intel MacBook Air. So PP bus, we can measure for PP bus in any of this cap here. See that, yeah, we can get PP bus there. Any of the caps. Let's see, and you. Okay, let's check for PP bus on these two caps here. Switch up. My multimeter is already in continuity mode. Let's see. We don't have a short on PP bus. Okay, so now we can connect charger to the device. That's not the only, but at least I know that I don't have a short on my PP bus, so that at least I feel like it's at that point I feel it's safe to now connect charger to it, especially because I do not see any sign of liquid damage on the device, so I can just go ahead and connect power to the device. So with power connected, let's see if we have any changes. Do we have trackpad feedback? There is no trackpad feedback. Let's see what we have on our PP bus now. Do we have PP bus voltage? We have 0.4 PP bus voltage. So at 0.4, let's check on a different port. Let's see what we have on a different port. 12.6. Okay, that's good. It looks like we have issue with one port. 12.6. Then device is also starting at 12.6. And yeah, it starts 12.6. Okay, so it could just be that we have an issue with one port. There was a chime. I get up the level. Okay, the device starts and then immediately goes back off. starts again, and then goes off. Okay, let's check the other port, because this port, at least we get communication from this port. Let's see what happens on the other port. Let me just tell us what's happening. Let's see, do we have anything on that port? Okay, we don't have anything on that port. So it may just be that the CD3217 may be having issue, which is corresponding to that port, and then as a result, when the device tries to start and detects the issue, it shuts off. So that could be the issue. So let's take the board out and confirm that. And then also we see what the device does is the device tries to start and then shuts back off. So let's take the board out. We can confirm that one of the port you're actually getting 20 volt, which is what you're supposed to get, and also you're getting 12.6 volt on your PP bus. So, but the other port we're not getting anything. So that could just be where our issue is. Could be that the corresponding CD3217 it's affected somehow, and then also with the 2020s MacBook Airs, the use of CD3217 was implemented instead of the regular initial CD3215 from the 2018 devices. Okay, board is out. Let's put the shell on the side. Okay, so what do we have? Okay, we have a bit of also corrosion at the DC jack. So let's see. The board itself seems to be clean. There is no evident sign of liquid on the actual board, but on our DC jack we do see we have a bit of corrosion on the DC jack. Okay, so let's remove. Okay, on this side we can clearly see that the DC jack, it's we have an issue with the DC jack on this side, so that definitely needs to go. But then why shouldn't it start and work fine on one of the port? Let's see. Okay, let's get another DC jack. Let's see if we have a different response on say, do we have 5 volt or 20 volt? Okay, we have 20 volt. Let's switch that. Okay, we have 20 volt, and let's check on the other one, 5 volt or 20 volt, and we have 20 volt. Okay, so our DC jack was definitely a problem. But then what we now need to confirm is why is it going off? Because ideally, with a charging port, if given that the charging port is corroded, one of the port that works should work in a way that only one port should. I mean, the port that is not communicating, yes, will not work, but shouldn't affect the overall function of the machine. So what we want to do now is put in another DC jack and see if the machine behaves differently. this is a DC jack for MacBook Pro, that's why I'm not using it. This is one for MacBook Air. For testing purposes, you can use a MacBook Pro DC jack, but when it comes to installing it in the chassis, you need the one for MacBook Air. Okay, so let's see if we have different behavior for the DC jack replaced. I'm only gonna add the screws that I need for my testing. I'm not going to add all of the screws, just enough to do the testing. And also minimal cables, trackpad cable, one speaker cable, and the screen. And also definitely I need the fan connected. Fan is connected, and then I board cable, that is also connected. We don't need the antenna cables, and but let's also have the battery connected, because with this machines without the battery connected, you will get the fan, it's going to run wild, and also uh, the device will run a little bit slow. So let's connect. The battery is connected. Let's see if we have different reaction now. The device seems to be starting. We have a chime. Okay, it's doing the same thing. So the device tried to start. So that was exactly what I was talking about. Because it's one thing for you to have a charging port issue, but the charging port being that it's not related to the CD32, any of the CD32 17, it should not affect the function of the board itself, which is what you're seeing now. So it may be that the device crashed in the process. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to see if holding the Alt key will give me a boot option. So hold the Alt key. So if it is that there was a crash when the liquid occurred, so it may just require also reinstall the operating system. And so if that's what it is, then we should be able to use, I mean, the device should be able to put into a boot menu. So let's see if that happens. Okay, so that's a good thing. So, so yeah, so what I'm trying to say is, so it could be that what happened was, so one of the ways you wanna, when you get a device that shuts off before it starts booting, so what you want to do is, in order to identify exactly where the issue is, it's so what you want to do is switch off the device, switch it back on, and then hold the Alt key and see if you get your boot option and the machine stays on. Now, so the fact that the machine stays on at this at this stage, it tells me that I only have issues post this stage, and post this stage is also, which is basically the booting process, and that it's very much dependent on our drive and the files on our drive. So what I want to do now is I'm going to click on it again and say, I'm going to click on the drive and see if it's going to continue. If it doesn't continue, then most likely the we had the drive, we had the crash, and but then the crash, it's not necessarily because of I mean, that can be addressed by having to reinstall the operating system. So I'm just going to try it again now and see. So I mean, to this point, if holding down the Alt key, if the device does not allow us to come to this stage, then it means that it's not necessarily related to a boot issue, which is, I mean, related to a boot or crash issue. But the fact that we're able to get to this stage and the device is not shutting down, that tells us that we do not have the device is related to boot issue, which is relating to a drive. So what I want to do now is I want to try it again and see if it loads fine. Otherwise, we just have to reinstall the operating system and then we should be good to go. So it's still doing the same thing. The device is still shutting off. So what we are going to do is we are going to reinstall the operating system, and the way we are going to do that, uh, the way we are going to do that is we are going to be installing the device through DFU mode. So this is an Intel device. I have videos about DFU mode process. So this is an Intel device, so we will be using the second port and not the first port. If it was an M1, we will be using the first port. So we'll be using the second port. So you be connecting. So this is the charger to the device, and this is the cable that runs to our host device. In this case, and then we will have Apple configurator on the host device. So let's try to put the device into DFU mode. It's on hold. Okay. Okay, we are in DFU mode. So what we want to do now is because definitely we can confirm that. So if the issue was not relating to a crash, then we would revive. But because the issue is relating to a crash, we will have to restore and not revive. So restoring will obviously clear out the files on the drive, and then we can reinstall the operating system of the drive again. So let us restore and not revive. So and then also it is this machine is going to go for sale. So there is no harm in having to not there's no harm in having to reinstall the operating system. So basically, and this should solve the problem. So what we will this is going to take a while to download. The network is quite slow. So once the download is done, then the next thing we will do is we will now reinstall the operating system. And then also, if it was an M1, we could just easily drag and drop the file that we need, which is the Mac OS that we need. We can just drag and drop that into the DFU window, and that will be able to reinstall the operating system directly. But because it's Intel, with Intel device, the process is slightly different. You cannot just basically perform the same process. But then I see that the download is a little bit faster than normal. So I don't know if we should wait for it to finish or just come back when it's done. What do you think? Should we wait for it to finish and do something else?
It's gonna take long.
So we're like do something else. Uh, okay, so while we're waiting for this, I can just grab the iMac that came in from low power, and then we check that one out while we're waiting for this. Just we can just leave it to keep doing this thing, then I'll grab the iMac. Okay, we have an iMac that's no power. This is a 2015 iMac, 27 inches. Okay, and this is basically how it came, and that's because it's coming from another repair shop. Um, so I'm very sure that they must have tested with a different power supply. So it's definitely not an issue with the power supply. So what we want to do is even at that, we just want to um, connect the power, plug in, and see what we have. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we're not dealing with an issue with the power with the power supply. So let's get a power cable and confirm that. So I'm going to connect the power switch cable, and that is the IO board cable that allows the power switch to function with the main board. So if this is not connected, you will not be able to use a power switch. This doesn't play a role in the power supply sequence or to the board. However, it plays a role in having to get the power switch to control the board.
What is this one?
Which one? That is for the audio jack. And by the way, you sometimes get a short on the audio jack cap, and that sometimes will. So the way it will behave is when you start the machine, when you power the machine, it makes this beeping noise, beep, beep, beep.
Like ring issue.
Yeah, but it's not the RAM issue. So usually with that board will cause the device to beep and it's not going to start. So the way to address it is just you can remove the board itself, take the board out,
Yeah.
and then disconnect the cap that is shorting, and then and then you're good to go. Or you can still you can disconnect the cap and then reuse the same audio jack, and then it will work. Or alternatively, you can just replace the audio board, the audio jack board, and then yeah, waiting for the download. It's doing its thing. So let's see what we're dealing with here. We have a standby light. No, we don't. Okay, now let's see. Let's see if we have. Ah, can you see that? Huh? Okay. So let's see what we have on now. Let's confirm that we have voltage coming into the board from the power supply. Black row to ground, and then red. Let's say we should be getting 11 point something volt at 0 0 0 0 0 0. Okay, we're expecting 11 point something volts. If you're not getting that, most likely that it's either our cable is not properly connected. Let's see. You confirm that this cable works, yeah? Okay. And let's say it's the power supply connected then. Let's say it may be that the power supply is not connected. Okay, yeah, the power supply is one of the cable is not connected. Okay. Okay. Let's try that again. Yeah. It's yeah, that was really bad. So what basically happened was the power supply, we had it resting partially, and then that, yeah. Uh, it's not good. Uh, so this, yeah. So which is why it's always better if you remove that. Say that.
Yeah. Oh, actually remove it.
Yeah. Now we have to start. Everything went off.
Yeah. You need to switch it.
All of this. Switch it off. So yeah. Uh, you see this is metal. So you see
Yeah. This is galvanized.
what do
What
you
is
mean?
this?
No, but this was it didn't. So this was between this and that. This
Yeah.
was resting here. Yeah. So it's always so because this was resting there and then it was making contact
Awesome.
and then that was yeah, that created a short and so we unfortunately I believe we lost the power supply. So what I'm gonna do, uh, so we are going to see, yeah, most likely the power supply is gone. We can still check to see if the power supply was saved. Meanwhile, switches are all off. We need to uh, okay, let's first work on the switches first.